Thursday morning, and I see we've already got people on and waiting. We've already got questions, so let me begin. First of all, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide Gradle, who is, as always, standing right to my right side. I'll get this right. And also we have on the other end of things, we have my friend Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, everyone.
And we're going to do our very best to take your questions this morning and to do some question and answer stuff. But before we do that, Chris, how has your week been so far?
Oh, my week has been great. The weather's cooling off in Vermont, but we still have our blue skies with the nice big puffy clouds, and been enjoying that.
Nice. Have you done anything special or spectacular?
It's kind of hard to do anything special or spectacular in a COVID situation, so we find our quiet things to do.
Well, I did something really special yesterday. I actually went into somebody else's kitchen, and this person has their own cooking show. She's a trained culinary chef, and she invited me to go and do a little video with her, which I will share with you once it's up and sorted out on my Facebook page and of course on YouTube. But she asked me, what did I think that I would like to cook, and I said, well, I'm British, and her show is an American show, and Americans don't do shortbread. Have you noticed that, Chris?
I didn't hear about it until I met you.
Well, the Scottish shortbread is, well, we in Great Britain, we think that Scottish shortbread is famous all over the world, and of course it actually is, and it is a renowned, I think in America you'd call it a cookie, but we would certainly just we'd just say have a shortbread. We wouldn't even say have a shortbread biscuit, we'd just say have a shortbread. And so I chose to make 3 different types of shortbread. So I, sort of being on this show and sort of teaching this culinary expert how to make shortbread, which she'd never done before, we had so much fun. We laughed a lot. I had Reese with me. The people at the home I was in, they have a little boy the same age as Reese, and they get on really well playing together. And so I went and we did 3 different types of shortbread. We did a plain, simple, but most delicious shortbread. We did an almond shortbread, which is my daughter's favorite, and then we did a savory Parmesan shortbread, which is actually my favorite. And, well, I like all kinds of shortbread. To be honest, I like it all. I'll eat any kind of shortbread. What we did was we made shortbread using 2 different kinds of flour. So we made shortbread my way, which is the regular all-purpose, or in England we would say the plain flour. And then we also used a gluten-free flour, and it worked well for the plain shortbread. It worked better actually still for the almond shortbread. And in the almond shortbread, I like to use fresh ground almonds and a little tiny drop of almond essence. It was really delicious. And then what do we do? Then we made the Parmesan shortbread, and mine were perfect, as I should say they often are, because I love them so much. I make sure they're really good. And hers completely collapsed. The whole thing was just a mess in the bottom of the pan. So it was very interesting to try this non-gluten flour and to see how it held up as opposed to the regular flour. So we had so much fun. They made me dinner, delicious chicken, and I got home with my darling boy at about just before 9 p.m. we had a late day, we had a late night, and we just had so much fun. And of course, we also dipped in the regular plain shortbread. The boys helped me to dip the regular shortbread. You know what I'm going to say. I think those of you who know me really well, we use a lovely bittersweet chocolate, and we melted the chocolate, and the boys dipped their shortbreads in chocolate, and wow, we brought some home with us as well, so that was good too. So what do you think to that, Chris? I had a culinary day yesterday.
I think that's so excellent, not only for you, but for everybody else who got to experience that. I can't wait to see the video.
Well, they're going to edit and do all of that stuff, and as soon as it's up, I will share it with all of you, so you'll love to see it. I'm sure you will. You'll probably see me laughing mostly. It looks like I'm not taking anything seriously, but of course with cooking, as those of you who know me will know, I am very serious about my cooking. All right, Chris, I don't know, am I still looking at the camera? Am I still in position?
I think you're just where you need to be.
Good, that sounds great to me. I can see that we're getting lots and lots and lots of questions. I know people are thinking, enough with the cooking, enough with the shortbread. What about my question? And hey, what about my question? So, Chris, enough of the cooking. I am making dinner tonight. We might talk about that in a little bit too. What will I make for dessert? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, Chris, go ahead now. Let's go to our questions, shall we?
Sure. Both Julia and Jacinta are on, and they're saying good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
Right away, Rosemary, let me know how you want to handle this. People are asking for messages specifically for them. Do you want to start
I'm
with
awfully
those?
sorry, but I'm having trouble hearing you. People are asking messages, and then I lost you.
People are asking messages specifically for them. I know you like to sort of go generic first and then go to specific. So how would you like to handle that?
Well, we'll take the questions as they come. But for those of you who are asking for messages for your own selves, sometimes we'll do it and sometimes we won't. And when I say we, I'm talking about both myself and Grey Eagle as well. This is not a forum for me to necessarily give messages from the spirit world, although we do from time to time. But we'd love to have questions from you, concerning interest in the spirit world, how it works, how does mediumship work. There are oodles and oodles of questions that you can ask which other people will be interested in. I know that when we sort of come to this subject, this is my subject, I've been doing it for so long, I know that for most of you, it's all about you, isn't it? Because you just want to know, don't you? Is my father okay? Is my mother all right? Is my son doing well? How is he or she doing? Will I be okay in the COVID thing? And I've got all of those questions, and when I say that, it's all about you, of course it is. And I have no issue with that whatsoever. In this climate, we are worried, we are concerned, and so of course it's, we want to know the answers to so many things, but please don't be disappointed if I can't give you the answers, or I choose not to give the answers at this particular time. There is always the other option. You can book an appointment, not necessarily with me, but you can book an appointment with a medium, with a spiritual medium, and get your answers that way. I take consultations, as all of you must know, so there are other ways to do this, but I will endeavour to do my best, and please don't take it personally if I say for whatever reason we can't answer your questions. Some of the questions that you ask us will take too long for a show such as this, and we're trying to answer as many questions as we possibly can. So Chris, just go with the flow. First comes first, and if we can't do it, we can't do it.
Okay, then. Pat would like to know.
Good morning, Pat.
Could I please get a message from my husband who passed away last October?
And darling Pat, I'm sure that he's fine. I don't see him right now, but I'm sure. I have Grey Eagle's hand on my shoulder. You see, this is what happens. I think I'm going one way, and Grey Eagle tells me we're going another, and he's in charge, not me. So I'll listen to him. Yes, I can tell you, Pat, that your husband is perfectly fine. He's perfectly well. I'm not quite sure why he says he's waiting, but he's waiting. So I think that, I'm going to go out on a limb a little bit here. Please don't worry, because, and this is the message, and I'm hearing a definite yes. So you are getting a message for your husband. He's not going anywhere without you. You've got quite a ways to go yet. You've got quite a long life to live yet, but he will be waiting for you when it is your turn. Chris, keep going.
Jenny says,
Morning, Jenny.
I would love to connect with my mom, please, and thank you.
Again, oh golly, how many of these questions do we have here? We're not going to go this route at the moment, but do please understand, Jenny, I'm sure that she's with you. I'm absolutely sure that she's with you and that she's watching you and watching over you. Keep going, Chris.
I'll just mention for our friends that don't speak English, no Inglés, please use Google Translate. Naomi is on.
Morning, Naomi.
Hi, Rosemary and Grey Eagle. Just updating you once again. I am 9 months pregnant now, and I'm just waiting every day for Grace's arrival. Time has flown. Thank you for your support.
Oh, please let us know when this darling child is born, because we're so excited about it. When a new soul is born, there's so excitement in the spirit world. We think that we're excited, we who are on this earth plane, but there's so much excitement in the spirit world because a new life comes into being and the possibilities are endless. Thank you for letting us know, Naomi. I love the name Naomi. I love the name Grace. Wow. Chris.
Mary's on.
Good morning, Mary.
My 12-year-old daughter Lillian has not been herself for almost 6 months and recently has had to see a therapist. Her spirit animal is a wolf. Please ask Grey Eagle if there is anything that I can do.
Oh, yes. What I'm going to suggest you do is I'm going to suggest that you, can you email me and write to me and tell me what you think the issue is here. A lot of children, especially in the time of COVID, a lot of children are suffering lack of friends, lack of friendship, lack of the social activities that are around. A lot of children are showing and now beginning to show symptoms of that lack, and there's very little that we can do about changing the rules and the laws of COVID and the social distancing and so on. And I think that we should all be aware, kids are not going to school. They're not able to see their friends as they usually do. And I think we should all be aware of that and paying attention to sort of trying to find other ways of them connecting. It could be that you don't have all of the fancy stuff, the iPads and the computers and so on. It could be that you're not able to do sort of socializing through the media and through the medium of what am I trying to say? Technology. But that is one way of trying to connect your children on a social level with other kids and with other friends. And it may well be that your daughter just needs to connect with those friends in a way. You can't do it in a way that she always has done in the past, but you can work on that. But email me, please, and let me know what the issue is. Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com, and I'll see if I can, if we can, give you any help or support in that area. In the meantime, I would very much, if you could just give us your daughter's first name is fine, or just email me, and we'll put her on our healing list. Okay, Chris.
All right. Cheryl's saying happy Thursday.
Morning, Cheryl.
And Sue's saying good morning from Iowa.
Good morning, good morning.
Asma has a question.
Good morning, Asma.
Hello, loads of love and blessings to you. My mother passed away 3 months ago. We didn't meet for 2 years, and I was supposed to travel this year to see her, and she was also waiting for me desperately. Suddenly she left, and I felt so lost. Is there any message from her for me? Thanks.
Oh, that's so hard for you now, isn't it, my darling? And Gregor has his hand on my shoulder, so I know that you're going to get something. Um, and I'm I'm told to tell you, my sweet, that as much as you are regretful of the situation, as much as you wish it could have been different, everything is as it should be, and your mother is only a little tiny heartbeat away from you. That's all. She's right by your side, and she will help you and she will guide you. So you actually haven't lost her. It's odd, really. I know people are going to think it's strange when I actually say sometimes when our loved ones leave us, they are in many ways closer to us because they're able to watch us, they're able to watch over us, they're able to visit with us. And so please sort of, if you can ask me if you can look at it that way, that she's right by your side and she will help you and she will guide you, and maybe that will give you a lift and a little boost so that you'll know that everything's okay. Everything is as it should be. Chris.
Bright stars on.
Morning, Bright Star.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you again. Lots of love and have a good show. Kiss from the Netherlands. And how are things with Cachorro?
Oh, thank you, and thank you for that. How lovely that we have that question. Thank you, my darling. He's doing really well. He's actually staying. He's staying with Michelle, my assistant, and he's at her house, and she's got 2 teenage daughters, and she's got 2 puppies of her own. So if you want to know how he is, apparently he's extremely dirty because he's been playing out in the garden a lot, and Michelle's dogs dig up the ground, and so Cachorro's been sort of mucking about in the mucky stuff. He's been totally pampered. They allow him to sleep on the bed. Naughty, naughty, naughty. But he's happy. So thank you for asking that. I really appreciate it. I spoke to Michelle a couple of days ago. She said to me, just let me know when you're coming back because I'll make sure he goes to the groomer before you get home because he's really dirty. So that's how he is. And thank you, my sweetheart, for asking. Thank you, Bright Star. Chris.
Lau Ren is on.
Sorry?
Lau, Lauren, Lau Ren.
Good morning.
I love your shortbread stories. Thank you for being you. And what really tickles me here is they started out, I've been desperately trying to figure out who my spirit guide is, how I can find out who my spirit guide is, and then rephrased saying, how can we all find out who our spirit guides are?
Oh, there you are. Well, we are going to certainly on our webinar, on our first webinar, we're going to be talking about mediumship. That will include spirit guides, and it will include, what we can do. And it will also include my personal views on spirit guides. So save the date. It's the 24th of October. We haven't booked it yet, but we're about to book it. We're keeping our fingers crossed. We're going to try and keep to that date, the 24th of October, and we shall let you all know when you can book your place. So that's as much as I'm going to say about that, but I'm glad you like the shortbread stories as well. All right.
Cheryl says, when someone who had bad habits or anger/mental issues pass, do they lose those problems on the other side?
That's a really good question. When we pass to the spirit world, it's very difficult for many people because, as you just asked, if you're a person who has a lousy temper, if you're a person who has a short fuse, let's say, if you're a person who tends to shout and rage because you've not learned how to properly communicate for whatever reason, um, then then it's absolutely wonderful because you're able to be guided, you're able to be steered, you're able to be shown a different way. Now, we all of us have free will in this regard. So some people will listen and pay attention just as they did or didn't do here on this earth, and some people will just turn away from those teachings or will find it hard to accept those teachings. However, because they're in that place of obvious enlightenment, it's most likely, more often likely, that they do listen. It is amazing how many people in the spirit world over the years that I've spoken to who have come and so apologized to their loved ones who have organised a consultation with me. I had one particular instance of a man who he'd been married. She was this lady was his second wife. She'd been an absolutely fabulous wife to him, done all that she could for him, and in some part he'd been a great husband to her too, so they had a great relationship. Then he got sick, and all of a sudden his daughter from his first marriage came into the picture, and he turned from his wife, turned away from her somehow. He left all of his businesses and all of his money in his daughter's hands. It wasn't that he left his wife destitute, but he certainly left his wife with nothing. She was not even allowed to sit when at his funeral. The daughter literally was against her. She was not even allowed to sit on the front row as a grieving wife and now widow should do. And it was an awful story, and she was pushed to the fourth row back in the church. So she was in the eyes of so many people there, she was nothing to them. And it wasn't like they'd been married for 2 years or 3 years. They'd been married for 25 years. So the daughter of the first marriage treated her as if she was nothing, but the husband gave the daughter permission to do it. She came to see me for a consultation. She was so confused and so heartbroken because she could not understand what was going on. Her husband came through from the spirit world. I don't think I've ever seen anyone look so guilty or be so appalled at his own behaviour. And he apologised profusely and reiterated over and over again that he should have done things differently. Unfortunately, the deed was done. Amazingly, the wife, who is just lovely, she's a lovely person, actually has chosen to forgive him, and in fact has also chosen to forgive the daughter, who still really doesn't want anything to do with her, but that's beside the point. So we get all sorts of things going on. In our humanness, we all do things that we regret, or perhaps sometimes things that aren't so nice. Obviously, this lady's husband had learned, had understood, and was able to see much more clearly. My own father came to me one time many years ago. He held me, he apologised to me, and he reiterated over and over again, I didn't know, which meant he didn't know how my mother treated me, or how her behaviour had affected me so much. Yes, so I would say that people generally learn. I couldn't say that they always do. That's an awfully long answer to your question there. What do you think, Chris?
I think it's great food for thought.
Yeah. This is, I think, we have to understand that once we realise that life continues after death, we need to pay attention to our behaviour, because, we really want, I think most of us want to do the best that we can do, But sometimes our anger or our frustration or our jealousies or whatever it is that's going on with us, they get in the way of decent behaviour. And I think that, Grey Eagle always says, I'm sure many of you have heard me say this before, Grey Eagle always says our world needs gentleness, and that's really what we need to pay attention to. Who's next, Chris?
Mayola is on.
Good morning, my lovely.
Hi, can I get a message from my mother who passed in 2005?
Right now, no, I don't see anything and I don't hear anything. So I can tell you that I'm sure she's okay. I'm sure she's safe. But again, we don't have as much time as I would like for us to have. So you could actually find a medium who is good for you, who is right for you, and have a consultation if you need to get in touch with that person. With your mother in this case, I certainly do consultations. I feel as if I'm actually sort of touting for business here, but I'm not truly. But I think that if you do, all of you out there who want a message from someone in the spirit world, and it's really, really important to you, I know it can be a little bit expensive, but honestly and truthfully, we can all do it if we've set our minds to doing it. And I think it's worth finding a good medium, somebody who you can trust, who can help you with these things. And I can tell you that it really is worth it. It really is. Chris.
Vicky says,
Morning, Vicky.
hello, I'm always asking about my son on the other side. Do other family members get upset that I don't ask about them?
Oh, Vicky, how lovely. That's a lovely question. No, they don't. I think all of your family know and understand your son is your priority, as he should be. Absolutely, as he should be. It is important, though, I think, for you to know, but you probably know this already. I'm probably telling you something you already know. But your loved ones, your family in the spirit world, are there to help your son and to guide your son as much as he is there to help and to guide you. So, don't worry. You're doing fine. And of course you should focus on your son. Of course you should. Chris?
Rosa is on.
Morning, Rosa.
I heard that we are of flesh and blood on that side. Is there any truth to that?
That we are flesh and blood? No. There is no truth to that whatsoever. In our human... Gosh, didn't I sounded so adamant then. I really shouldn't do that. If there are people out there who believe that, it is not for me to disparage other people's beliefs. Let me say that first of all. But my own belief is this. We are spiritual beings, come to this earth to have a human experience. And in that human experience, of course, we are flesh and blood. This flesh and blood vehicle, our physical body, houses the soul, houses us, while we are having this spiritual experience, and as we're having this human experience. I can, though, tell you that this world of ours is an illusionary one. What seem to be solid walls, solid floors, the solid sofa that I'm actually sitting on right now, what seems to be solid, in fact, scientists will tell us that it is a mass of millions, if not trillions, of rectangular shaped molecules that somehow, because of the energy of our planet, they are held together. These molecules are held together to give us the impression that we are solid, that the furniture we sit on is solid, so on and so forth. So when we see the ghost sort of, walking through the wall, we imagine that the ghost is coming through a solid wall, but in fact, it is the ghost who is more solid. Now, I know I seem to be arguing my own point here. I'm not saying the ghost is solid flesh and blood, but what I'm saying is the ghost or the spirit is much more solid than the wall, which is simply an illusionary thing. Am I confusing all of you? I hope not. But having been to the spirit world and having experienced and even touched and held hands with people in the spirit world, I can tell you, although they are not flesh and blood in that, cut and you bleed and so on, no, they are so much more solid and so much more real. And we also know that, what is it, Chris? How many parts water are we as human beings walking about? And if someone were to put a pin in us and the energy around us were to change, would we leak out all of this water? No, it's an illusion. We seem to be solid, but we're in fact not. But in the spirit world, I can tell you now, from my own experience, when someone puts their hand on you, or when somebody in the spirit world holds you, they are far more solid and far more real. Not flesh and blood, but far more solid and far more real than ever we are. Does that answer the question, Chris?
I believe it does.
Okay, go for it then.
All right. City is asking.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rosemary. My husband passed away last November. Does he have a message for me?
Oh gosh, not at this moment in time. I don't like to disappoint people, but I'm also not going to give you the glib answers. So I'm going to say again, I'm sure, and in fact I am absolutely sure, because Grail has put his hand on my shoulder and is reassuring me that I'm giving you the correct answer. I'm absolutely certain that he's fine. Keep going, Chris.
Shiva asks.
Good morning.
Who are my guides? Any message?
No. And again, I'm going to direct you to the 24th, where we're going to be talking about mediumship. We're going to be talking about, can anybody be a medium? We're going to be talking about guides and what my opinion of guides are. And I think actually, for all of you out there who have this question, look to your family, look to your loved ones in the spirit world, because they are the ones who will help and guide you. They are the ones who will steer you in absolutely the right direction. Chris?
Deborah's asking. Hello, I'd love to hear from Peggy Miller.
I don't know who Peggy Miller is to you, but right at this moment in time, I don't see or hear anything. And moving on to the next one.
Rosa asks.
Morning, Rosa.
Also, thank you to Grey Eagle for sending me the extra protection against WTV. Maybe it's a mistype. What was bothering me in my dreams?
Oh, you're very welcome, my darling, and thank you for mentioning that to us.
Ariel says, I miss my mom so much.
Oh, Ariel, I'm so sorry. And you know that she's with you. Keep going.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there. Samantha says, I do not understand much English, but it gives me an immense emotion to listen to Rosemary and see her. I cry. God always bless her.
Oh, darling, thank you. Don't cry. Please don't cry. We are so very pleased that you could join us, and thank you for putting this in a language that we can understand. What is the name of this?
Samantha.
Samantha. Well, I should have remembered, shouldn't I? Because I have my daughter Samantha. So thank you, Samantha, for joining us. And please don't cry. Unless they are tears of joy, that's acceptable. All right, Chris.
Lori says.
Who?
Lori.
Lori, good morning, Lori.
My sister passed last year. Does she have a message for us?
Yes, actually. And for those of you I'm not able to give a message to, please don't get upset. It is what it is. I can only do what I can do, and again I'll reiterate: find a good medium. If you need to get in touch with someone in the spirit world, find a good medium. However, I do actually, my love, have a little message. I'm not quite Yeah, okay, yes. So now I'm not sure here if I'm talking about your sister. I think I am. So I'm going to just dive in here. I feel that although her um, situation may have been prolonged at the end of her life, according to Gregor, it was really quite sudden and quite quick, and I'm told sort of pretty much unexpected. So I can tell you, and please, if you don't understand what I'm saying, please let us know because I'm not infallible here. But Gregor is telling me about this lovely, lovely young lady, and apparently her passing was sort of quite sudden and unexpected. And I'm told that she is sort of settling down, that she's doing really well, and that she is often with you. Please, would you take love from her to your family? Uh, uh, and I didn't say that quite right, so I'm going to say it as Gregor is saying this to me, and I do have brief glimpses of this person that we're connecting with. Um, so I have to give it the message to you in the way that she would like to, that she's A-OK, and that she's sending her heart to you. So I think that means that she's trying to tell you that she loves you all. Please let your family know that she's safe. Next, Chris.
Ariel says, my mom passed away 7 years ago, and I haven't got closure. I miss her. Do you have anything that's coming in from my mother in heaven? I would love to hear anything.
Let's see, Ariel. Actually, the message is more about you. So Gregor tells me that this message is, I do believe, coming from your mother and how proud she is of you. Now, please understand, I always say to people, if you hear from someone in the spirit world, do make sure, please, that you've got evidence that this is really who it is we're talking to. And because we are under time constraints here, and we're trying to answer as many questions as we can, I'm not really giving you the proof that I really, really expect you should find before you believe anyone at all. And you should not, just because I'm Rosemary Altea, it doesn't mean that you should believe me. Having said that, I feel that your mother is saying here that she is really very, very proud of you. She could kick your bottom. I don't know quite why. She's very frustrated with some of the things that you're doing because you're not paying attention to you. You need to be a little bit more selfish with your own self, my darling. But she's extremely proud of you and loves you very, very much. Okay, Chris.
Valentina from Italy
Morning,
used to
Valentina.
translate, so we're very thankful for that.
Thank you.
So Valentina's asking, hello, I would like to know if my father Luigi has a message for me. God bless you.
Um, well, thank you. Thank you for sending us the Google Translate. We appreciate that. And thank you for joining us. When you mentioned your father, I have, and Gregor is chuckling here because it was so unexpected. I have a presence here with us. I'm going to say your father is, let's say, larger than life. And as soon as you mentioned his name, it was like, wow, this very positive and very powerful energy. So even if I tried to stop him from interfering with us this morning, I don't think I could. And so I have this fabulous, beautiful, powerful energy, which I know is your father. And he's very effusive, a very, kiss, 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 lots and lots and lots of kisses to you. And so proud of who you are. And he tells me what a beautiful person you are. So I do feel that he has a very strong and very powerful presence, especially for you, which tells me that he loves you very, very much. Next one, Chris. That was sort of so unexpected. It was like, woof, there he was, you know. So very powerful.
Well,
Chris.
this is when we all sit here going, boy, we wish we could see what you see.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, okay.
All right. So Valvacious is next.
Morning, Vivacious.
In Genesis, the Bible says Satan has offspring. So can demons mate with women? Example, a succubus demon spirit possesses a man, causes him to mate with a woman, so that child has a half demon spirit.
Well, what can I tell you? Right. First of all, I am much more about the New Testament than the Old Testament. Please remember, all of you out there, when you're reading the Bible, whichever version you read, it is written by men. Not even women were involved in the writing of the scriptures. It is written by men, and men who had their own opinions and their own way of things. Now, years and years ago, sort of around the time, let's say around the time of Christ, and actually since then, so many religions are based on fear. They control their parishioners, or they control their flock, let's say, using fear, and many religions are fear-based. And I can tell you for one that the beliefs that I have and the knowledge that I have of Christ, and I am a Christian, put my hand right up there and say that, I am a Christian, meaning that I believe in Christ. I believe in that a man by the name of Jesus Christ came to this world. He was an amazing healer. But, as Grey Eagle would say, our world needs gentleness. And let me tell you, the Old Testament has very little of that emotion. It is fierce, terrifying, and fear-based. And I discount it. And also, please remember, when we're talking about the scriptures, man wrote the scriptures. Men who were not necessarily enlightened, men who were, necessarily sometimes bullying and pushing people into their own beliefs. There's this wonderful story, I've told it before, I'll tell it again briefly, about the old lady who went into the bookstore, and she said to the man behind the counter, could you please, I want to buy a Bible. And the man behind the counter said, certainly, madam, which version would you like? And there are hundreds of versions of the Bible, if you care to check. All right. So he said, would you like this version? Would you like this version? Which version would you like? And this old lady, very frustrated, she banged her fist on the counter and she said, I want the Bible that God wrote. Well, for all of you out there who are going to sit and quote scripture at me or at anybody else, there isn't a Bible that God wrote. There is a Bible that man wrote, groups of men wrote. Are they right? Are they wrong? You choose. I'm not disparaging what your beliefs are, but please don't try and shove them onto me, because it won't work. I believe in Christ. I believe in a benevolent, higher power. I believe in the beauty of joy. I believe in the beauty of love, and I will not be beaten into fear and fear-based beliefs by anyone. So before you think to quote the scripture at me again, have a second thought, and please don't do it, because it means nothing to me. Chris.
Pam from Ottawa is on.
I'm sorry, what?
Pam from Ottawa.
Morning, Pam. Yeah.
Thank you for all you do. Both my children are struggling, a son and a daughter. Wondering if you or Grey Eagle have any advice in supporting them.
Oh my goodness. Well, we can certainly put them down on our healing list, and we can absolutely send them healing. If you'd like to email me and let me know in what way they are struggling, we may or may not have some ideas for you. But as I've said, it's so difficult in these days of COVID. please try if you can. I think for all of us out there, not just for our children, but for ourselves as well, there is no need to cut yourself off from people and from situations. If you have a computer, you obviously have because you're writing to us. So if you have the ability to use this technology, use it for not just for yourselves, but use it for your children. On Monday night, Chris and I, we had a social night, right, Chris, with a few of our friends. We all got together, and if you use Zoom or if you use, there's so many different ones. You can use Zoom for free. You can go on Zoom, I think it's for 40 minutes or 45 minutes or something for free and get together with your friends. You can use Messenger, you can use Facebook. There's so many different ways. So maybe your children just need, your enthusiasm, difficult as it might be, because in this day and age, we're sort of struggling ourselves. But if you can sort of get them to have a card night or a popcorn night or a quiz night or something like that, and you can do it on the social media sites that many are free, I think you'll find it's going to be really helpful, not just for your kids, but for you as well. But please email me and let me know. But we'll certainly, if you can send their names to us, we only need the first name. You don't need to send anything else. We'll put them on our healing list and we'll send them healing every day. We hope that helps, my darling.
Michelle is next.
Sorry?
Michelle is next.
Morning, Michelle.
Lots of love to all. Hi, Rosemary. Could I ask Gray Eagle about love? If I'll meet a guy or if he can tell me a sign about the person who might already be in my life or who will be in the future? Thank you.
Oh, Michelle, we're all looking for love, right? And this is where our soul signs come in. Our soul signs book is great. It could be a great help to you in finding the right person, because boy, if you're like me, Michelle, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough out. Not that I'm looking for love anymore, because I'm not. It's not that I've given up. I'm just very content with who I am. But the less you look, the harder you try. Sometimes the more it comes to you. I have someone in my life who is very, very close and very dear to me, has been on lots of dating sites, gone on more dates than you could care to imagine, and isn't doing so well with it. But there we are. But, at least if you keep trying, you just never know. I'm not sure that I'm an advocate of dating sites, but how else do we meet people? Just be careful, just be cautious, just make sure that other people know where you're going to meet someone and what you're doing and so on. So just be cautious. But you do have to, unfortunately, Michelle, you do have to put yourself out there a little bit. But Grey Eagle has just come into my ear right now and does have a message for you. Number one, you try too hard. Oh, okay. So your downfall is that your sweetheart, we all do this, not a criticism of you by any means. You're trying too hard to be the person you think someone else wants you to be. In other words, if you hate football but they love football, you'll say, "Oh yeah, I love football too." And when you're not doing that, you go the other way and you become a little bit aggressive. I hate football. So just be you. Stop worrying about what this other person might think of you. Be yourself. Just be you. Be honest about who you are. Be honest about what it is that you want in life, and you'll turn away many, many, many men doing that. But then all of a sudden you'll find the right one for you. But if you try to be what you think someone else wants you to be, it's going to fail inevitably, because at some point down the line they're going to look at you and think, well, she isn't what I thought she was. Well, of course you're not, because you were trying to be somebody else, and now they see you as who you are. You're beautiful who you are. You're as perfect as you can be as who you are. Maybe a little more patience. You'll find love, don't worry. It'll come to you. Chris.
Jan is asking.
Morning, Jan.
I'm not sure how to word my question. Do you believe in messages via angel numbers? 111 was the last date I spoke with my Ed before he passed. I hear a song that I sent to him, and the time is often 111.
I actually do believe in that. When I was a kid, I mean, sort of as soon as I got to the age where I could get on the bus by myself, which was sort of fairly early on, I used to have to get on the bus when I went to work when I was living in England in the city of Leicester. Actually, we always got bus tickets, and for some weird and unaccountable reason, I used to always save tickets with the number 7. If they had the number 7 in them, I would save it. If they had the number 7 at the end, wow. If they had 2 sevens or 3 sevens, it was like a little piece of heaven, and it made me feel hopeful. It gave me hope. Couldn't tell you why. Could not begin to tell you why. But the number 7 was very important to me. And then I was pregnant with Samantha, and she was due to be born on the 10th of April, and yes, you guessed it, she was born on the 7th. And the 7 is my number, the 7 is my daughter's number, the 7 is my grandson's number. So I do believe in numbers, and I do think that we should pay attention to them. I don't understand it, I'm not a numerologist, but yes, I think we should pay attention to these things. I think they are fabulous and wonderful signs that are given to us from the spirit world. Next question, Chris.
Ariel says, my mother's name is Patricia Dilberti. Does she have a message from heaven?
I think we had this question already. So why don't we move
Okay,
on?
I'll move along. Adrian says, good morning. I have been a stay-at-home mom for 7 years now. Once my daughter starts school, I want to go back to work. Since I haven't worked in so long, I have no clue who would hire me. Any idea what type of job I might get?
Well, I think you're a very loving and a very giving person. So I think working with people is your forte. I do think you're the kind of person who prefers to be sort of in the background of things rather than center stage. So I would go for working with people, but maybe in the background. There are so many different choices. What you do need to do is to sort of hone up on your skill set, on your computer skills. Unfortunately, right now, there are more people out of work and more people looking for work, so you may not find it too easy, but don't give up, because I think that what you're doing, what you're attempting to do is fantastic. But I would certainly, you have such a loving and such a giving nature. I think working with people is a must for you. Not necessarily in the midst of the center of things, but one of those wonderful people in the background. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear the traffic. I forgot to close the door this morning, and you can hear the horns honking. We are, after all, in New York City. Next question, Chris.
Kitty says,
Kitty?
good morning, Rosemary. Do our spirit family go on vacation? I'm vacationing and have seemed to have lost contact. Is it because I'm busy?
Oh, well, don't worry. You may think you've lost contact, Kitty, but you haven't at all. And they're thinking of you, and they're with you, and you should be busy, and you should be. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I really do hope that you're enjoying yourself on your little vacation. And no, you haven't lost contact. They're still around you, so please just enjoy what you're doing, and come back safe, Chris.
I just want to give you the heads up that it's 5 minutes of 12.
How did it get to be that?
We're having so much fun.
Pardon?
We're having so much fun.
Yeah, it goes so fast, doesn't it?
Yes.
At least we know with the webinars we're going to have more time. I bet they go fast as well, but at least we'll have more time with the webinars. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, Hannah says,
Morning, Hannah.
good morning, Rosemary. I'm currently reading The Eagle and the Rose and love learning about you and your amazing gift. I just lost my mom, Sally, a few weeks ago, and I'm wondering the best way I can communicate with her.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm so happy that you're reading The Eagle and the Rose. It's an amazing book. I know I wrote it, but it is an amazing book. It's an amazing book because there are so many wonderful and amazing stories in there, which have nothing to do with me except that I wrote the stories, but they are true stories. Yes, I'm going to suggest, as I always do for everyone, if you want to connect with your loved ones in the spirit world, take 10 minutes out of every day, just to simply 10 minutes. Find a quiet place to sit and just sit and be quiet. You say to those in the spirit world, in your case, my darling, it would be your mum. Then you just say, I'm here for you. This is your time. I just want to be with you for 10 minutes. I'm just wanting to spend that 10 minutes with you. If you want to connect, I'd love to hear from you. If you're around, please let me know in whatever way, but I'm just here for you. Now, then you have to be quiet for the next 10 minutes. Just be quiet. And what you should not do, which of course we're all tempted to do, is you don't say things like show me a sign, give me a sign, because every time you try to push that, you're actually putting pressure on that person that you want to connect with. In your case, your mother. You're putting pressure on them. So you have to sit quietly and listen and allow your senses and your sensitivity to become more acute. We are in our webinars, we are going to, and I'm teaching my students at the moment to hone each of our senses and to make them more acute and to become more aware of what is going on around us, to become more aware of listening and so on. But pay attention. You might see a shadow, flick across the room, or a little light float across the room, or you might feel someone's hand brushing your cheek, or you might feel, if you're really lucky, you might feel somebody's hand on your shoulder. But don't ask for those things. Just sit quietly. This is my time just to sit with you, Mum. And I love you, and if you want to be around me, that's great. But if you're busy doing other things, that's also great. The more you do that, if you don't do it more than once or twice a day, because again, that's putting pressure on those in the spirit world. Do it once or twice a day, no more. But just, if she were here, you'd think nothing of going to visit for 10 or 15 minutes of every day, would you? So listen carefully, be vigilant about it, do it as often as you can, every day if you can. Eventually, it might take a week, it might take a month, it might take a year, but eventually, if you persevere, I promise you, you will feel her, you will connect with her in a way that you never thought was possible. But you've got to be, consistent about it. And I'm sure that if you do that, my darling, she'll let you know that she's fine, which I'm told by Grey Eagle she actually is. Next question, Chris.
Mark says, Rosemary, does my brother G or Greg have anything to share with me? I can't wait to meet him when I cross over.
Oh, that you know perfectly well they'll be there for you when it's your turn, Mark. But in the meantime, I wish we had more time. So I don't at this moment have more time. I don't have enough time to even look to see if they're around or if there's a message for you. But you know perfectly well, just as I do, that they are right there with you. Your loved ones in the spirit world are right by your side. Don't be in a hurry to go and join them, please, because they want you to live a full and a joyful and a happy life. And you do that for them because that's what they want for you. Next, Chris.
Claire says,
Morning, Claire.
hello, I read your books and relate to them. Can my relatives help my daughter toward health?
Yes, why don't you email me and tell me, what is wrong with her. We'll certainly put her on our healing list. And please, just email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. Email me and tell me what the issue is, and we'll certainly put her on our healing list, and my team and I will send her healing every day. Yeah,
Barbara
Chris?
asks, does my late
Morning, Barbara.
husband approve of my life now? What does
This
he
what?
think? Does my late husband approve of my life now? What does he think?
Well, I'm hearing him laughing, and I'm hearing Grey Eagle laughing, which is surprising me. There's nothing late about him. He says, still your husband. But I do know what you mean. We do know what you mean. But he's obviously got a great sense of humor. He is apparently more and more approving every day. He sees you striving and working really hard to building your life, and he's very, very proud of you. There's still more to do. Well, isn't there always? So I get the feeling he's being a bit pushy with you. You could do better, but I think he's very, very much approving, and obviously has a great sense of humor. He is not late at all. I hope you understand why he's saying that to you, my darling. Yes, Chris. Next one.
Dave asks,
morning, Dave.
Do you channel other spirits?
I don't channel. I talk to people in the spirit world. There is a huge difference, Dave. I know it. You might be thinking that I'm being pedantic, that I'm being picky about this, but I'm not a channeler. In other words, I don't sit here and sort of get information from entities that I don't know. Grey Eagle and I have worked together for many, many years, and he has proven to me time and time again that he is a very knowledgeable, a very wise, and an incredibly wonderful spirit guide. And with him, not through him, there's a fine difference, but nevertheless, it's an important difference. With him, we are able to connect with those people in the spirit world, and I'm able to listen to them. I talk to them. We have conversations. And if I misunderstand anything, or if I don't quite hear something, Greg is there to help us and to sort of guide us through the process. But I'm not working through Grey Eagle. I'm actually working with Grey Eagle and talking to those in the spirit world who need to connect and need someone like myself as their voice. So that's how we do it, Dave. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but anyway, I did my best. Chris?
Mark asks, when souls pass over, who greets them? Those who believe in the mother of Jesus wonder if Mary and Jesus welcome them?
Well, first of all, thank you for this question. It's an interesting one. Those who greet us when we pass into the spirit world are our loved ones. They are our family. They are those who we've missed, who have gone before us. They are there to greet us, to help us. Our angels are the ones who take us to them. I don't think it's a question of Jesus or Mary or any of that stuff. I mean, I'm a Christian, so I'm not being disparaging about it at all. But I think that, there are so many people who have so many varied and differing religious beliefs. And so to suppose that it's Mary or Jesus who greet us supposes that, unless you're a Christian, you're not going to be accepted, or you're not going to, have that continuation with your life, and that isn't so. So it is our loved ones, it is our family in the spirit world who greet us, who welcome us, and who basically are able to show us the ropes. But it is our angels who take us to them. I think another couple, Chris, and then I think time must be ticking on, right?
Yes. Okay, so Marlene says, my mother, for the first 4 years after her passing, would come to me very clearly in a very special song, the same artist, but this has not happened for a while. Why?
Well, she's probably busy, or maybe you're busy. When we first lose someone, we are perhaps more attentive to and being aware of them around. But we get busy. Your mother, I'm sure, is really busy. It's not that she's neglected you in any way, but maybe she feels that you perhaps don't need her quite as much as you did initially. But I'm sure that she's there with you, my darling. Yes, Chris?
All right. Kayla says,
On
can I
Kayla?
can I ask Gray Eagle if my boy Manuel has any gift like extrasensory perception or healing? I have the feeling he has a gift, but I'd like to be reassured. Thank you in advance.
I am asking Grey Eagle, and we're talking about a child here, right? Didn't quite hear. Did she say her son or something? Whoever? No,
She used the word my boy.
Okay. Well, I do feel that we're talking of a child here, but of an unusual and particular type of sensitivity. Be gentle with him. Be careful. Do not push him into your own beliefs. Gregor is saying, allow this to unfold. Allow him, by all means, as I do with my grandson, by all means talk to him about your own beliefs, but try not to push your own beliefs onto him. I did this with my daughter. I do this with my grandson. I always said to Samantha, just because I believe in this doesn't necessarily mean that you should believe in this. I'm a great advocate of allowing our children to develop in a natural and easy way. So he's a very, very sensitive boy. He's certainly has a sensitivity towards healing and a sensitivity towards animals as well. So, pay attention to that and encourage it with him, but don't push him, because you could, by pushing him, push him away. So just be encouraging and loving. And that is a perfect ending, I think, Chris, because I think that, as we've said, and I'll say it again, I said this on our show last week, love is like a weed. It will grow anywhere. It will even grow, a weed will even push its way through concrete. It will grow anywhere and everywhere. Love is like a weed, but if you try really, really hard, you can poison a weed. So we have to nurture this love. We have to nurture our love of our family. We have to nurture our love of our children. We also have to nurture our love of our own selves. And, love is the ultimate, isn't it? And with gentleness and with care, and as Greg will tell us, our world needs gentleness. With gentleness and with care, we can create a better life and a better environment for our children and for our future, the future of this world of ours. All right, so if you need to know any more about me, you want to know more about our webinars, you want to know more about consultations, you want to know more about our books, our healing, if you'd like healing for your own self, all of that stuff, email me, please, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. Now, there are lots of you who are getting very frustrated about the emails. If you email somebody, if you email my office, please don't expect us to email right back. Because as much as I would love to employ someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I can't. And I don't. And I wouldn't want to anyway. It may take a few days, it may take a week for your emails to be responded to. So please be patient with us. Don't give up on us. Our lovely Michelle is doing the very best that she can, and she will, within a week, she will be answering all of the emails that come along, but she's only one person. We have so many emails going on, so please be patient. If you haven't heard from us, from your email within, let's say, 10 days, you please email back and say, I sent you an email. Please just remind us. That's okay. But don't get upset if you don't hear from us straight away, because we are a very busy office, and Michelle does her very best. She does not work for me 24/7, and she does not work for me full time. So we do our very best in our own way. So please be patient. Please make sure, again, the email is rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com if you want to know where to buy my books, if you want to know anything more about me. I think we've done that right, Chris. And what I'm going to also ask all of you is, please, if you've enjoyed this show, please, if you want us to continue to do it, would you share with your friends, share with whoever you want to share with, let them know that we're about. And again, please put your email on your email, put in the subject line, whether it's books, seminars, classes, webinars, anything like that. If you put it in the subject line, we'll deal with it quicker and easier. I think. Are we done, Chris? I think that's it. Have I forgotten anything, do you think?
No, you've got it all.
And if you want to be on my mailing list, you must request it. Otherwise, we don't just automatically put you on our mailing list just because you email us. So please request it. And then, we'll send you an email at least 3 or 4 times a month. No more than that, I would think. And we'll inform you of what's happening, where it's happening, and what we're up to. In the meantime, please remember, I shall be back on Saturday morning at the same time, same place, for our story time. I haven't even thought about story time, so I don't know quite what I'm going to tell you, but I know that lots of you did enjoy the story time that I told last Saturday. So we'll have more, maybe spooky, maybe inspirational, maybe a bit of both, who knows. But there'll be story time on Saturday morning, same time, same place. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's New York time, and I look forward to seeing you all then. And we will, after story time, we'll be taking more questions, and I'll be doing my very best to answer your questions as easily and as quickly as we can. In the meantime, please have a very, very blessed rest of the day, everybody, and please have a very blessed rest of the week, and I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you all on Saturday morning. In the meantime, blessings to all of you, and our world needs gentleness. Start with yourself and then work outwards to everybody you know. Bye bye, everybody.